Welcome back to the Stronger Together, Closer to God. This is Minister Vernon, and I'm glad that you're here with me today. I want us to slow down and sit with a passage many of us have heard before, but if we're honest, it challenges us more deeply than we sometimes realize. We hear 1 Corinthians 13 quoted at weddings, on social media, in relationship conversations, but Paul wasn't writing poetry here. He was showing us what love looks like when life gets real. Here's the line I want to hold onto from the very beginning. Love is not just what we feel, it's what we become. Somebody listening today may be carrying tension in a relationship. It might be a marriage, family, church, friendship, even the way you talk to yourself. This passage is not here to shame you, it's here to shape you. So let's slow this down together and let Scripture do what it does best. Bring clarity, conviction, and then hope.
From friends to lovers,
to kisses and cuddles,
we are doing it
God's way.
This is Stronger Together, Closer to God.
I'm reading from the New Living Translation, 1 Corinthians 13, verses 4 through 7. It says, "Love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous or boastful or proud or rude. It does not demand its own way. It is not irritable, and it keeps no record of being wrong. It does not rejoice about injustice, but rejoices whenever the truth wins out. Love never gives up, never loses faith, is always hopeful, and endures through every circumstance." Let's walk through this slowly. The first part of that scripture, love is patient and kind. If we're honest, that's already stretching us. Patient means love stays steady when pressure shows up. It doesn't rush to react. It doesn't punish quickly. It doesn't decide everything in the heat of the moment. Kindness is the outward expression of that patience. It's love in action, tone, words, posture, response. Let's slow this down again for another second. See, love is not just a feeling, something strong. Love looks like how we respond when things get inconvenient. Patience is love under pressure. Kindness is love in motion. This is where the foundation starts. Before Paul corrects anything, he shows us what love looks like when it's healthy. See, as Paul continues, love is not jealous or boastful or proud or rude. Notice the shift. He moves from an external kind of look at love to now a more inward appearance. Jealousy compares. Boasting announces itself. Pride elevates itself. Rudeness forgets honor. This is where it gets real. Love doesn't fall apart overnight. It arose quietly through heart posture. If we're honest, most relationship tension starts long before the argument. It starts inside. Comparisons, insecurities, ego, impatience. Love doesn't compete for position. See, love doesn't need to prove its worth. Love doesn't have to be the loudest voice in the room. Real love stays humble enough to keep honoring people, even when emotions run high. And then Paul goes a little more deeper. He says, it does not demand its own way. It is not irritable, and it keeps no record of being wrong. This is where I believe many of us feel the weight of this scripture. See, love does not demand its own way. That means love doesn't have to win every argument to feel secure. Love values connection more than control. It's not irritable. That doesn't mean that we'll never feel frustration. It just simply means that we're not easily triggered. Love slows down before reacting. Now listen closely because this may be the hardest part. Love keeps no record of being wrong. Love remembers lessons, but it doesn't keep receipts. Some of us are carrying emotional ledgers God never asked us to keep. Maybe you replayed a conversation. Maybe you held on to a moment that still hurts. This doesn't mean ignoring what happened. It just simply means refusing to use yesterday as a weapon today. love releases the scorecard. And then Paul kind of continues by saying it does not rejoice about injustice, but rejoices whenever the truth wins out. See, love is compassionate, but love is not confused. Real love does not celebrate what harms people. It actually celebrates what heals them. See, truth isn't harsh when it comes from love. Truth becomes the foundation where healing can grow. And let's be honest. Our culture often separates love and truth. Scripture holds them together. Love without truth becomes sentiment. Truth without love becomes hard. Biblical love rejoices when truth wins because truth leads to freedom. And then Paul closes this scripture out with power. He says, love never gives up, never loses faith. It's always hopeful and endures through every circumstance. This is the picture of strong love. Love stays. Love believes God can still work it out. Love keeps hope alive when feelings fluctuate. This is not fragile love. This is durable love. If we're honest, most people don't struggle with starting love. They struggle with sustaining love. Paul ends by reminding us love has staying power when it's rooted with God. That means growth is possible. Healing is possible. Change is possible because God is still working on us. As I sat with this passage, one question kept coming back to me. What is God trying to grow in me through the way I love? This passage isn't just describing relationships, it's actually describing spiritual maturity. Maybe this week the question isn't who needs to change around me, but maybe the question needs to be, Lord, what are you shaping inside me? See, the goal isn't perfect love overnight. The goal is actually allowing God to keep shaping us so that patience grows, kindness grows, humility grows, endurance grows. See, I want to really encourage each and every one of us today. Let's let God continue shaping our heart so that our love reflects His patience, His kindness, and His strength. And may the way that our love become a place where His presence is seen and felt. So as you go forward this week, don't just look for love. Allow God to shape the way you love. Thank you for listening to Stronger Together, Closer to God. I hope and pray that this message was a blessing to you. If you would like to contribute to our ministry, feel free to email us at s2c2gpodcast@gmail.com. Again, that's s2c2gpodcast@gmail.com. Thank you again for taking the time to listen to our message. We hope and pray that you will be able to be a blessing to others and especially bring many more people stronger together, closer to God. Take care and have a wonderful day.